Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming here to MIT on this beautiful morning. We've got kind of an 8 to 8 schedule here, so 12 hours. So actually, we're 1 hour into it, so hopefully you all had a little coffee, looked out over the Charles. So we've got a really phenomenal program. We're going to really address, obviously, how do we accelerate AI into manufacturing and operations. And when you look back at MIMO, so we started MIMO 5 years ago, Professor Bonning, Professor Levy, and then Dr. Romer, who's with the LGO program. And the mission was, how do we get more efficient at improving or converting natural resources into human well-being? And the way that gets done is through manufacturing and operations. And what we thought is AI and machine learning was the best way to improve the efficiency and efficacy of operations and manufacturing. 5 years later, here we are, and it seems to be quite a popular topic right now. So it's great that we started when we did, and we're building up to this. So we've got about 180 people that will be here throughout the day, a lot of them students. And so they'll be cycling in and out as we go through the day. So one of the things that we do within MIMO is we really are targeted at finding that shortest path from data to impact. So we've got great speakers today who've done that or are doing that. So just a couple of examples. So we've got our first keynote will be Dan Huttenlocher and Jeff Wilke. So Jeff Wilke was the CEO of Amazon Worldwide Consumer. So he went to work for Jeff Bezos in 1999, built what most of you would know as Amazon, and arguably has put more AI and machine learning in operations than anyone in history over his 20-some year tenure there. We also have Dan, who's the Dean of the College of Computing here. He was on Jeff's board, and he just wrote a book with Eric Schmidt and Henry Kissinger on the age of AI and the future of humans. And so we're going to have the two of them talking, and what we thought was important there is not so much certainly what they think, but how they think. And so they're just going to riff essentially back and forth with each other on what they want to talk about. So that should be quite powerful. Another keynote is Daniela Roos. She is the director of CSAIL, Computer Science and AI Lab, and they are charged with creating the future, the new algorithms. But today we will talk about the practical application of those so we can get them into, obviously, practice faster. And then in the afternoon, we have Mark Gorenberg. He will be moderating a panel on generative AI. And Mark is a very successful venture capitalist and philanthropist focused on enterprise applications using AI and machine learning, and they're very, very pragmatic. And so we wanted to bring the financial perspective in with academia and industry. So those are our main keynote speakers, and all on this topic of how do we deliver the shortest path from data to impact. There are two main themes you'll see on workforce enhancement. So how do we use AI and machine learning to make superhumans and super jobs? So by augmenting and accelerating and then ultimately automating drudgerous tasks, how do we make jobs better? So that's one big theme. And then sustainability is another theme for us today. Then at 5 o'clock, we'll break. We've got 26 students from across MIT who are competing for $47,000 in cash and prizes for the best applications of machine learning and AI in manufacturing and operations. So we really want to reward and recognize those researchers who are doing, and students that are doing those types of projects, and give you an opportunity to mix with them, see their work, and then at 7:30 we'll have a prize ceremony where everyone will get to see them get their giant checks. So let me tell you just a little bit about MIMO itself. So there are three main components: research, education, and collaboration. And this is PhD level research. It's field-based, and it ranges everything from the work we're doing at Analog Devices on their ion implantation process. So you've got a case where you've got atomic processes happening at the speed of light that happen in the dark, and you can't test them for sometimes days, weeks, or months as you build up all the layers of silicon. And they came to us and said, can you detect when we're making good chips or bad chips before we get to the end where we actually can electrically test the whole thing? Professor Bonning has been, we've been working on that. That's a multi-year project. Another example of research is Nissan on one of their engine lines. It's actually a new state-of-the-art engine line across 70 factories. It's very recently been installed, and they collect thousands upon thousands of data points. So they're literally swimming in all this data, and they ask us to look at that and to help them determine when something goes wrong, what might have been causal among these thousands of different variables. We also have a project with Meta, and we're looking at data centers. This is a sustainability project. We're looking at their data centers and trying to get more efficient cooling. They have millions of, or a million plus servers. So how do we make that more efficient to use less energy for cooling? Then the next presentation after this will be our multi-year collaboration with McKinsey. And what we're looking at there is how do we help companies with implementing data science or machine learning projects into manufacturing. And that's really based on the fundamental challenge that we saw that people, when we started this, people would hire a data scientist and then they wouldn't be successful and they would wonder why it didn't work. And so you'll hear more about the multifaceted approach that needs to be taken. We also have education and collaboration. So education, we run a deep learning workshop every year for students. We have a PhD level research forum every week. And then collaboration, it's events like this, right? So it was very important that we have you all together for a long period today where everyone can mix and share contacts and really focus on discussion and driving this industry forward. We have quite a few faculty involved that work on us in intelligent manufacturing systems, intelligent supply chain, and then intelligent sustainability. So I'd like to introduce one of the co-leads and founders of the program, Professor Bonning.
Hello. I'm Dwayne Bonning, a faculty member in electrical engineering and computer science, taking the day off from teaching. I teach about 400 students last semester in Introduction to Machine Learning and teach about 600 students this semester in Fundamentals of Programming. So an interesting fact is to first order, almost every undergrad at MIT and a lot of grad students are taking machine learning. We only have 1,000 undergrads per year, 400, 500 per semester. Why are they doing it? They know it's the future. It's not because it's a requirement. So it's interesting. So I wanted to welcome everybody here also to enjoy MIT, learn from both MIT, but also from the practitioners, all of the wonderful experts that the students have put together for this MIMO Symposium. It's a great chance for us to learn from each other, you to learn from the researchers, us to learn from those that are putting it into practice, some of the challenges they're facing putting it into practice. I'd also just like to say that this is sort of the heart of not only what MIMO does, but also what the Leaders for Global Operations program does, LGO. Retzef and I are also the faculty co-directors for that program. And that's all about really bringing together leadership, research practices, but having an impact on manufacturing and operations. And now is the time when we need this in this country and worldwide. So again, welcome. We've got a really full day, but I'm really looking forward to also learning from our great speakers and from all of you. So welcome.